And we'll call the meeting to order, and let's see, establish a quorum. 1, 2, 3, 4 full-time and 2 alternates. Who had it last time for voting?
I did.
You did? All right, you're up.
Okay.
Not that we're gonna be voting on a whole lot of stuff tonight. So you might have just dodged a bullet anyways, right? All right, approval of minutes. Here we go for voting. Approval of minutes, April 13, 2026.
I didn't see any problems.
I didn't either.
I move the board accept the minutes of April 13th.
I second that.
And discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right. Old business, we don't have any. New business, right now, we don't have any. Other business, we got a CEO report. Which is, right, yeah.
Do I have two of these?
You might.
Very possible.
The one you're looking at is this one, April.
This one says March.
Ah, okay. You should all last one.
It might still be in your folder. Did you grab stuff when you came in?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, okay.
And these look like they went through Dave on these.
Yep. Yeah, I don't put the stuff that you guys
No,
approve on here, cause I think you already know about that.
yeah. All right. Green
But the
house.
permits issued, if it's done, you put it in there for the planning board permits, are they put in here?
On my monthly report, no.
No,
This is my report to you guys, saying what I've been doing while
right.
in between your activities.
He approves a whole lot more than we do.
I think
Or, excuse me, he sees more than we do.
he's gonna be doing more.
All right, looks good. At least something's happening, right?
Hmm.
Somebody's filling out applications. People wishing to address the planning board. That's where we're at now. Does anybody online want to address the planning board? Got questions? Comment? Going once? Going twice? Gone. And I have no correspondence. Anybody want to do any committee reports before we get into the additional business? Going once, going twice, gone. All right, Chair, additional business, discuss possible creation of subcommittee to explore a possible moratorium on new private dogs. All right. Did everybody do their homework and look at what the ordinances say about dogs?
Mhm.
In the Green Book, ours is a pretty short chapter on.
It is a very short chapter. Yeah, and I went over it this morning after I found my green book.
I haven't been able to do a bunch of research.
Yeah.
Cause I've been unfortunately out of the office more than I've been in it lately. But that is what I gave you guys tonight to look over are Camden's moratorium that they actually have in place at the moment. And the one that was proposed for Lincolnville that did not fly. Haven't actually spoke with anyone in Lincolnville or Camden.
And so you don't know where Camden is in development of,
Yeah, theirs got, the select board approved theirs again. Like 6 months ago for another extension because they're still working on
Oh, so it was approved back in 2025?
Yeah. Yeah, they're only good for 180 days.
yeah,
And at that point, the select board has to either renew it or take it off the books.
okay.
Mhm.
And basically it's a timeout.
Time out on no new construction on docks on private property until we either change ordinances or reword
Yeah.
ordinances or whatever. Or if we
Okay.
can't come up with anything else, then
Well,
at
as I
least we
was,
try.
as I was reading this, we're worried about people splitting their land up and
Yeah.
putting more docks in.
It's a loophole that, you know, a lot of people will take advantage of and.
Or could,
Or the ones that, there are a lot of people that could take advantage of something like
Right.
that, you know? And I just think maybe there should be some language in the ordinance to not make that as easy as a workaround as it is right now.
okay, as I was reading 125-35 piers, docks, wharfs, et cetera, on A, it says, except in maritime activity districts, no more than one pier, dock, wharf, or bridge shall be allowed per lot.
Right,
So that's telling me that one of the things I was nervous about or curious about was I want to rejoin my property
hmm
back into one unit. Well, that right there tells me we have to shoot that down.
Yep. Yeah, because if you split your lot, just so you can have another dock put on your property, and then come back 5 years later and say, oh, no, I want to put this all back together again. Yeah, at that point,
It would probably be a different,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, and somebody
Hopefully-
would have to catch that.
Yes, hopefully the assessor would catch it, because that would be more than likely if anyone wanted to put their, if it wasn't a subdivision, kind of like Northeast Point,
Right,
they had to come to the planning board and
Mhm.
actually say, no, we want to dissolve this. But a family division or
yeah,
something like that, if they're only dividing one lot,
yeah,
that's not gonna come to you guys.
to
So,
put back together.
right,
And it won't come to you either.
no, that would go to the assessor.
What if we, now, this is just a thought I just
This is,
had.
this is what we're here for, we're spitballing.
Exactly, that's all this is, right? But what if, you know, we required, something be written into a deed in that situation, that the lots not be recombined
Mhm.
unless one of the docks was removed,
Right,
and that be a condition.
yeah, I mean,
On
that's
Indeed.
that's a very good, it's kind of like like with the ADU.
Right.
The
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
little caveat that they used to have in there to,
Yeah,
Right,
but
right.
that's not in anything right now.
no. But I think that's, you know, that would be a good possibility for a solution for that.
Sure.
Another thing that crossed my mind, maybe if they do divide their land, or something like that, have a waiting period, something after the division, okay, you've divided your land, but now you're gonna wait 6 months before you can.
6 months, how about 10 years?
It just depends on how many teeth you want put in it. That's,
all right. And then isn't it, if, as you said, a family subdivision doesn't have to go through subdivision rules.
right,
But if they do separate out lots, and if one lot is sold, does it matter what time period, 5 years or more, that they, to an outsider, that it actually triggers going back to a subdivision?
I think it's 5 years.
So,
Yeah,
Any
you're
time.
talking about if a family divides all their property up, okay, this junior's getting this piece, this one's getting this piece, this
yeah,
one's
or
getting this
if we
piece.
just said just that one lot goes to one family member.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's another way it can get triggered, is that it's already done with subdivisions, that it triggers that it, is considered subdivision after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So don't you think we should have I have some other issues for the planning board that we probably do need to set up a committee to start looking at our ordinances, so.
Do they pertain to what we're doing tonight, right now, with the docks?
No, it's to do with laws that have been changed by the state
Okay,
and have mandated
all right.
changes.
And I ask that you bring that up at another time?
Oh, I thought, you don't want to do it tonight? I just thought that this would be a good rationale for starting a new committee. In addition to the docs,
Well,
we don't
yeah.
want to try to deal with writing up an ordinance now?
No, we're just spitballing on the docks right now. We're just,
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I just thought if you're gonna set up a committee and throw all.
I
these
haven't
things-
decided on setting up a committee for anything yet, so,
Yeah, wait until you see what I've got.
yeah. Sure you don't wanna take on
Me?
you're the VP, right?
You were on
I did the last one,
I
it's
know.
your turn, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, when we nail this thing down, we're in the middle of docks and stuff like that. Keep that in your back pocket and. So. Docks. Are we? Where do we stand? What is it, if we're talking about this, I think that's a great idea. Of some kind of a stipulation.
Mhm.
Can we go back to the ones that have already done this? I don't think so.
No,
How many times this happened? Just
Twice, I
once?
think.
Twice?
it's twice, but.
I don't know, I.
Word gets around.
I kind of have a problem with it.
Okay, speak up. I mean,
I just think if you own the land and you're doing it within family, and you've got enough of the footage, you've got
The
hundred
footage.
and fifty feet.
Yeah.
Then who's to say I can't put a second dock in? I just don't believe it. You own the property. You're now telling me that I can't do it? If I don't impose a navigational hazard to the environment, or if everything is to code and everything is done
right?
and it's based on, I did notice some things in the Camden thing that I think are appropriate. I don't think we address sea level rise the way we should, because some of these piers have been wiped out because of the storm, the 100-year storms. I think that could potentially be put into a modification of the ordinance language, but to tell people that they can't put a second dock in if they've got 600 feet of waterfront,
Only if they split the lane. They can't put a second dock in on that if it's all one piece of property.
right, it's one, right, so you'd have to split it off.
You'd have to split
But
it.
if you split it off to your family member, if you're selling it outright to somebody not in your family, then, okay, then that person
Right.
wants to put a dock and he's got to permit it,
Right?
right? Because it's sold, the property is sold.
Right.
But if I'm spinning it off to my daughter.
Yeah.
And I've got 600 feet and she wants to put a dock in and I've got enough land to put in a second house. I don't see why somebody shouldn't be able to do that. It's,
I'm with you on
that's my perspective.
Without, creating a second lot?
No, I think
that.
you have,
You have
you
to
have,
create the second
the,
one.
the current ordinance says you have to, there's one dock per lot.
Yeah,
But if I have 7 acres and I've
You got
got,
enough
and I've got
water
enough-
frontage.
I've got 600 feet of waterfront, I have one dock today and I'm gonna spin off a lot for my daughter. Or my brother, or my brother-in-law, whatever, it's family member, not outside the family, it's gotta be family, it's gotta be bloodlines. Then I don't see why we would be restricting people to put a second dock.
How do we stop them from rejoining that property, making it all one again?
I mean, the money that you have to go to spin off a lot and the money you have to spend.
Money
to
doesn't
build a
matter
dock.
if some of these
Yeah,
people are
that's,
doing it.
the ones that are doing this, it's not a
Oh
concern.
my God, that means nothing.
But still, to me, it's still besides the point. I mean, if I'm, again, I'm saying if it's me and I've got all this land and I bought this land and I pay taxes on this land and I've got more than enough frontage to put a second dock in. And
It's not
I find the
impeding.
loophole- I
It
find the
crosses it-
loophole.
It crosses all the Ts and dots the Is.
I find a loophole and I got 2 docks. If it's not a navigational hazard, I don't see why we should restrict somebody from doing what they want to do on their own land, as long as it meets the requirements that might need to be updated for 100-year storms or sea level rise, things like that. Because my biggest thing right now is worrying about docks that we have that are on this island that are gonna get wiped out because of sea level rise and because of the fact that we have these 100-year storms. I mean, the dock right next to ours got completely taken out 2 years ago. And they just rebuilt it. I mean, the whole thing got lifted up, pulled right off the granite. And push up on the beach. Yeah, so I mean, that to me is, but I don't know,
Well, it
Teresa,
sounds like we need to update our ordinance, so.
I agree with that. I think
That's
we
what
need to
we
look at the
need to do.
language of the ordinance, but
And that's one reason to do the moratorium is to relook at.
Yeah,
yeah,
don't approve 6 docks while you're in the middle
yeah,
of
no,
changing the ordinance.
I agree with that. I don't know, I do have a problem with that. I'm just putting the record.
You're preaching to the choir with me anyways, cause I am government intervention, what have you,
To me, it comes down to if it's if it's a risk to navigational hazard, if the harbor master says you can't put a second dock in because there's, it's a turning zone for people that,
Right.
if you buy the point down at Grindle Point, for example, somebody buys that point and they stick a dock and it goes right out and it ends right off the town dock.
Yeah.
Which could possibly happen, right? If that's where the engineers say to put it. The harbor master steps in and says, you can't put it there.
Yeah.
It's a navigational hazard. So, but if I could do it on my land. I could have two docks sticking out. I wouldn't do it.
right,
I mean, it's a lot of money, way beyond my means, but some people have the means to do it, but if they've got the land, they want to sell it off to their in-laws or whoever, family member. I don't know, that's just my opinion, so.
Well, then that's set up outside the family. If it's become.
Outside the family, that's different.
Yeah, if they're giving it to a family member, that it cannot go to an outsider or if it's
But if
more
it,
than
so,
two lots.
Yeah.
well, let's say that
If it's three or more.
let's use the same analogy that I just made up, and I give a lot to my kid. And my kid says, and has the means and says, I want to put a dock in, they put a dock in.
sure,
5 years from now, she decides, now we may have an agreement that says, I got rights to first refusal. If you lose interest in Islesboro and you want to move on, I can buy the lot back. It would still be a separate lot,
yeah,
unless
I
I'm
think
gonna
so.
go, why would I go back and take the borders out and combine the lots back? It wouldn't make any sense. It would just, I'd take that lot back, I'd own it, I'd have a second list in the assessor's book and I'd pay taxes on it. So if they decide to sell it, if she decides,
Money.
but if she decides to sell it outright, that's her prerogative. And the guy that buys it pays for a dock. And the dock's there. One lot, one dock.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I look at it.
You know who everybody is up here? 'Cause we got a J, I don't know who J is,
James Cowan.
okay,
I'm done.
no, I hope not, I mean, you may be paused, but I
I'm
hope you're not
paused.
done.
I'm not done. I'm paused. I'm paused. I'd just love to hear other people's view on this board, on how they feel about that.
But everything you said makes sense, but it doesn't negate putting in a moratorium yet.
It does, I think there's a good rationale, and just, like I said, reading some of Camden's and Lincolnville's, their pauses. I think and looking at ours, which is very thin.
Yeah.
There could be some language updating it. I wouldn't make it restrictive to the level that we're talking. I would make it more restrictive based on sea level rise and some of
Yeah, well,
the concerns about that.
Aren't we just, the restriction we're thinking of is just if a separate lot is created in order to have a second dock, that lot cannot be incorporated
Reincorporated back
into the
into-
one lot.
Yes, to answer your question, that's how I think of it too, but I don't understand why anybody would do that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, people do all kinds of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
These large family compounds,
right.
yeah.
No, I mean, the example that we just walked, I mean, that's a great example. But they have more than enough
Now,
room to
one
accommodate
thing we
that.
have to consider is lot. This is something we're gonna have to talk about with the stuff I have. That's going to change. Our minimum lot size may have to change.
minimum lot size may have to change.
Yeah,
State,
don't ask me, I can't pull it up right now, but it may have to change.
Based on,
This, people you don't want to have telling you what to do.
State,
the state
Now, I
government,
think we can use home rule possibly to override that. We'd have to apply or whatever.
what is home rule?
The state allows municipalities to have home rule.
Oh.
Decisions.
This is, yeah, okay,
is there anything to do with the
Yeah,
population?
population size. There's a lot of the stuff we are exempt from or not
Because-
compelled to
Oh,
do
so maybe
because
some
we
of
don't
this
have
stuff
the right
is-
population size.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to look into it, but this is where we need the attorney to look at this stuff. But yes, I mean, that's a possibility that we may have to reduce our minimum lot size. In which case there'll be more,
Less than an acre and a half?
Yeah, well, the state's going for affordable housing and density and things like that. They're working on this housing shortage.
and now in terms of,
Statewide.
yes, for shoreland
For
property,
shoreline, it doesn't
maybe
make
something
sense.
different.
Doesn't make much sense for shoreline property.
Yeah.
No, well, they've already kind of dealt with that the last time and said, no, if you wanna, you can't do affordable housing on shoreline because that's.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the minimum lot size is gonna affect, if there are changes required, if it will affect shoreland too. So that's a good point, good point. But there's a lot of stuff that at the state level that we're supposed to be looking at and doing whether or not it covers us or not. I talked to a woman at the office who we dealt with before with ADUs. And they've already written up a guidance for changes that were approved last year that we got aware of. And the legislature just approved that just this last month for new changes to the ADU and lot sizes and.
Well, we just went through all that with ADUs because the state said we had to, right?
Right, and we're gonna have to update it, I think. Well, and one thing is that a municipality may not require planning board approval for accessory dwelling units. So you're gonna have a lot more work.
I mean, this was
You've done
discussed,
most of it.
this was
anyway.
discussed a couple years ago,
Uh-huh,
all right, because
yeah,
if you remember right, and the consensus of the board was, well, no, if you do that, then we're not gonna have anything to do. But
exactly.
a lot of municipalities in Maine, the function of the planning board is for development review and commercial stuff.
Mhm.
Residential homes, just basic residential lots and homes like that, all goes through the code enforcement.
You
Well,
got
Planning board.
setbacks, you got zoning, I mean, it's the basics.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
do we
basic
need
stuff.
to expand code enforcement office?
I
to
mean,
have more
that's,
staff?
I suggested that a couple years ago too.
Yeah.
And
So, we got a couple.
you might wanna
different-
revisit it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, that's based on population too.
Mhm.
That's like the uniform code, building code, you know. It's not required here because of population.
Right.
Is it a good idea? Some of the things I've seen built, yeah.
Oh, I totally disagree.
What?
Oh, I think it would be really bad to have to enforce a
Uniform
Cer-
building code?
certificate of occupancy is what I'm
Oh,
really against.
I mean, if you're gonna build an apartment building, yes, by all means,
yeah,
it
Yeah.
should be,
Yeah. If it's that would be commercial.
yes,
that would be.
yes.
But you're talking about as a resident, you shouldn't have to have a certificate of occupancy
An occupancy permit.
permit
For a
to
single family
To
dwelling,
move in.
if you
move
won't,
in.
I mean, and you're the one that's gonna be dwelling in it.
I agree, but I'm just saying, the uniform building code, with some of the practices I have seen, I think
Mm.
it would be good if people would actually adhere to some of those.
Well, like renters, I mean, I would think, it's one thing to say the person who owns it is living in it, but if they're renting it,
That's also commercial, is it not?
oh, that would be considered commercial?
Yeah.
Mm.
But
So-
do renters who can't afford to buy a home anymore, like they used to be able to, what about them? I'm just sort of bringing up all these elephants in the room problems, right? We're categorizing things, but the elephant in the room is that we've got people here who have money to money whip things, but it's not the old Dark Harbor crew who already have their estates and that's what's causing the problem, right? So we keep talking about more regulations or less regulations or some, but it's going to get more and more complicated. And there'll be more and more loopholes unless we think sort of in a big way. I'm not trying to preach. I just mean, I worry that we can dictate this in many different ways, but unless we sort of address the elephant in the room, which is this population that is doing these things and finding these loopholes, we address that. I don't know how else to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's simple, but as a voter, I'm just expressing that there's a, there's a bigger problem, and I suggest that maybe think about that. I don't know, but just wanted to share that as an emotional reaction to some of this.
Are you referring more to the conversation about the splitting off lots? Or are you talking about
Well,
the building permits, the housing
Yeah, it's-
occupancy permits? I mean,
yeah, no, it's a good question. It's complicated. I don't look, I'm not a government person. I don't think government. I don't know much about regulation, but I hear all these intertwined things, right? And that's why it's complicated and it's hard to come to a decision. Everyone has a slightly different view. But in what's happening is we affordable housing is now being brought up, renters versus owners is being brought up, and it's all reasonable to bring it all up about docks. But it's all intertwined, right? So what are we trying to solve for? If we're trying to regulate docks, which look, I don't, I don't have a particular opinion at the moment, but if we're trying to do that, what's causing the conversation? Is it we're worried about overbuilding? Is it we're not worried about it? What is it that's causing the conversation to occur in this committee, in this group?
We originally started this conversation about docks because they brought up that somebody had split off some property and
Just for the sole purpose
just for the
of,
sole
so they
purpose
could
of
put
putting in
another
an
dock
additional
in.
dock.
Well, what's their Dave? What was their end goal? Do we know?
Well,
Put another dock in.
the first one, I can see because it was the dock that was approved and put up, or is being put up, is an ADA accessible dock for the people that live there. They had a need for wheelchair access and things like that on the dock. However, 2 weeks later, I get an inquiry about another party wanting to do the same thing, but just so they can have another dock on the property. So, and like I said, the way the ordinance is set up right now, if you've got 40 acres of land and enough waterfront access, you can go and split off a piece of lot. Okay, well, now I've got this acre and a half here. It's separate from this lot, so now I can have another dock because it's a separate lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like a Daryl Crate, for example, who's buying every piece of property on the West Bay Road. What do you do about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I presented it to the planning board. Maybe they ought to relook at the ordinances and put a hold on these new dock constructions for a little bit until they look at the ordinances and see if there's some changes that need to be made so that it isn't as easy to come up with these loopholes.
Sorry, I wanted to sort of bring a
Yeah.
a naive question to the table because I just want to figure it out.
And then we kind of just transcended into the housing thing, but
No, it's connected. I mean, I get it.
We do chase rabbits around here once in a while.
Does anyone know, is there anything in the comprehensive plan about dogs?
I hadn't got that far yet,
Just,
but I'd be willing to bet there probably is.
We should check that
Yeah.
out.
Right? Good call.
This is where your subcommittee is gonna be in, if you decide to.
Yeah, well, I think what we've done with the docks is discovered that there might be some language that needs to be changed one way or another, whether it's causing restriction or not is a different story, a different question, but there might be some things we need to look at as far as docks go. I'm not an engineer, I have no idea, I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we kind of, before they even get to you folks, I mean, they've already been
Yeah.
through DEP
I
and
know.
Army Corps of
Right.
Engineers
Right.
and.
exactly,
Harbor Master.
Harbor Master.
Everybody.
exactly,
So it's,
Yeah,
and I'm on the same bandwagon is Scott, if they wanna split up the property and put dock in every one of them, that's.
You kind of have to assume, it's like going to the doctor. The guy's got the certificate that says MD on his wall, you kind of have to assume he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
When you get something from the Army Corps of Engineers that says this dock is
doable.
It's the
Doable.
standard, right?
you kind
Right.
of have to.
And the harbor master
take
says
their
it's not
word for it.
impeding, the harbor master says it's not impeding traffic, it's not impeding an oyster farm.
Right.
Different things like that.
So at that point, it just comes down to the local ordinance.
Yeah.
Does it meet? all
Does it
our-
meet?
And that's why maybe, as you say, it's, the chapter on docks is pretty thin compared to some of the other municipalities around here.
And I believe DEP is recommending higher elevations on.
They-
new docks.
Yeah, last year.
The new
they-
docks coming in are higher.
Okay, time out, guys. Harry, you said you directed me to somebody up on the,
Yeah, it looks like Terry has his hand raised.
all right. What's it?
I'm sorry, was that me?
Yep,
Okay. I just want to weigh in. I came in a little late and maybe you talked about this, but a dock is an accessory use, not a principal use. So you can't have a dock, I would argue, unless there's first a house or a business or something there, unless there's a principal use. So the lot that you're putting the dock on has to be sufficient to allow a principal use, to allow, for purposes of discussion, a house. And in fact, the house has to be built for there to be an accessory use for it. And that's a real limiting factor. And I think the board has approved docks that do not have a principal use on the lot. Let's put it that way.
What, are you saying that if I own this property and I split it off into something else, if I don't have a dwelling area on that property, I shouldn't have a dock? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that a dock has to be in the service of a principal use. You have to have a principal use.
No.
That's not anywhere in the Alger.
It's not in our-
Where is that coming from?
We have at least a couple that are not associated.
Yeah, I don't understand where that statement's coming from. Where it's not a principal use. Where are you, where is that in our?
It's not in our
No,
ordinance.
it's just a definition of a dock is included with a number of accessory uses. Like a driveway, like a dock, like maybe a parking area. I don't know. But there are a number of accessory uses identified in the zoning. What is an accessory use that are not principal uses? And by definition, if you have to have a principal use to have an accessory use.
Terry, can you refer to the definition that you're talking about? Where are you seeing that?
It's not in our ordinances, right?
I'm sorry, you're talking to me, Carrie?
Yes,
I don't have my ordinance here, but I know there is in the ordinance a section that talks about what's a principal use and what's an accessory use. And I know that a dock is an accessory use. I can give it to you tomorrow, not right now.
Have our lawyers look back for sure.
Well, you know as well as I do, or you know as most people do, that I like chapter and verse. So
Agreed, yeah. I mean, I'd like to know exactly where it states that, because,
I don't like going on hunting.
yeah, and what you're suggesting then is that if it's not a principal use, then I couldn't have a lot and put a dock on it. If I wanted to have access to the waterfront and I own a piece of lot and I have 150 feet and I've got my acreage and I want to put a dock in there, I shouldn't have to have a principal
Even if it's
residence.
just got a path to
Yeah.
it from, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could park my car and walk down to my dock and go out to my boat. You shouldn't have to have a principal residence.
No, that's not in our ordinance.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not, because that would, that would be a different situation.
Come
I
up
don't,
with
I
chapter
don't
and
think the
verse.
town would
let's look
vote
at it.
for
I
it.
don't think so either, yeah.
that's my guess.
Not to mention, people will make investments in land and build docks so that the value of the property increases. Well, it's,
Possible,
yeah,
it's possible.
well, we got off the rails a little bit there. Interesting comment, though.
Yeah. All right, so maybe we are at the point where we need to come up with a, as we said, a committee to work on this, to do some research and planning. I'd ask for volunteers and, I don't mind being one of them on this one.
Ooh.
Scott? What do we want, what do we need for a committee? 3?
You probably have 3.
If it's a committee, does it have to be a public meeting when the committee meets?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah.
Minutes and everything?
You're not really voting on anything, but
I already myself.
What's that? You withdraw yourself?
I'm withdrawing. I'm teasing, I'm teasing.
What I understand, you don't need minutes because you're not voting on anything. So I
Okay.
wouldn't need to be there, but it would need to be a public meeting.
Yeah.
So I suppose I could be there to run Zoom, but
Would Zoom be necessary if it's, I mean,
I don't think.
do all the
you
committees,
didn't-
do all the committees do Zoom?
not all the
Not the
subcommittees,
subcommittees, no.
but if you wanted to.
I don't think you did Zoom for your
We-
LD 2003 then.
No, we didn't do Zoom on,
People could attend in person,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that could be good enough, right?
yeah,
yeah, as long as we announce it.
I mean, to me, this also requires council,
I understand.
right? So if
It
we're gonna
certainly
have,
does,
I mean, for us to form a committee is great, but without input from council,
but
the committee is just, we're gonna,
Oh, you mean the attorney?
yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, once you decide how
Well,
it's gonna be written.
I don't even know if we can decide. I
Alert
think we
from
have
low
to-
battery.
I think we have to understand the ordinance, the law. It's fairly simple right now, but I mean,
I think the first thing is, the moratorium. And the committee would go to the select board to get the moratorium, and I think, don't you also have to go to them to talk to the lawyer?
Yes.
Cause that's
yeah,
money.
burning assets, right? Yeah, burning money.
Does the town vote on the moratorium?
Yes.
I would have to check. In some places, the select board can do it, but I think for the initial part of it, the select board can renew it without a town vote, but I think
Yeah, but
for
for the
but I
initial-
think for the initial moratorium itself, that you have to go to a town vote.
Okay. So it'd have to have a strong rationale for the meeting.
Yeah.
Mhm,
right,
mhm,
and if we could, as a committee, nail down that strong rationale at least.
mhm,
You know, you gotta show a need to review the ordinances and
mhm.
Right,
why you want
not just because Dave doesn't like the idea of
Right.
somebody going through a loophole.
to, right? See,
Right, yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
not that it's you.
No,
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 I'm just saying it's.
No, that was,
You
no.
you've identified something
Yeah.
that's.
I
think
think, I'm sure there's a lot of other things that probably would raise concern too, but that's the thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Well, I'd be willing to be on that committee, and I don't know if you wanna have that one just work on that topic, or if we should be also addressing these changes to the subdivision and ADUs. And I think that maybe the major ones.
how about I give you some homework and find out if that even applies to us with our population?
Yeah, I'll have to ask her, I didn't think. Oh, another thing is that, DEP is recommending that standby generator fuel storage should be out. I think not stored in the shoreland zone, or at least set back far enough from the shoreland zone, then it doesn't wash away.
Well,
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Propane
that
tanks
falls
floating
under the
around.
common sense.
Yeah, they're suggesting adopting ordinance provisions to allow standby generators, and fuel storage tanks within a shoreline zone setback. Wow, that's surprising, but I would think we'd wanna have it set back far enough. They're talking about if you have equipment, medical equipment, that's really important to have running in the.
So-
storm. But, you know, it's all sorts of things that are.
So don't
Okay,
put your
I'm-
generator
I'm
shack and
requesting
your
some-
storage shack or your generator.
On the beach.
On the beach.
Well, no, I'm saying, I mean, if it's what's it, 75? What's the setback now? 75?
The 75 is a magic number, but there's
So that-
actually
250.
250
250 is the shoreline.
Shoreline. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's-
250
But,
feet's a
you know,
lot.
it's just a number of issues that have been raised by the state that we need to think about and.
Of course they have.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, isn't that my question was, rather than addressing the additional ones as a committee, isn't that what this planning board is about? I mean, if we're looking at potential state regulated or required modifications to our ordinances, I mean, that's this committee.
Yeah.
So to have another committee, that's.
well,
this-
that's what, you probably missed out on, we did do a separate committee to go through the ordinance in relations to ADUs, town centers.
Yeah,
and
like you said,
other
and LD
requirements
2003.
of cities.
yeah, no, I missed that.
So,
That was a lot of work.
It was.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I thank you all for doing it.
Yeah.
But, and then we brought our recommendations, our thoughts
Feels like-
to the planning board.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
so it's
like the
not
planning board, the
separate.
rest of it was
Yeah.
left out.
Mhm.
So
It's
it's
a-
members of this,
Yes.
members of this,
Yes,
okay. of
It's a
this board.
subcommittee of this board.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going, because at that time, we actually had applications come for this board, and it was a busy board. Now it seems like we could address each one at each meeting.
For today,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, for today.
The storm will come.
Yeah.
Right now, people are just kind of holding on. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Well, I can print up these things and we can find out if they are applicable, but they were applicable to us.
I say, I'm not
Next time
reviewing
around.
it anymore, but I would highly recommend not having it all bundled together.
Uh-huh.
Do your docs on a separate.
Yeah.
Oh,
from
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah. Good
Yeah.
point, good point, Dave.
But I can do that. I can work on the doc.
Committee.
So that's 4.
Mhm.
All right.
Do you need to vote to establish this
I
subcommittee?
don't know, do we?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Who's the fourth person?
Me?
1,
Oh,
2,
did you
3,
wanna do
4.
No.
yeah.
No, but only because aren't we also talking about having this subcommittee for the other thing
Yeah.
we need to deal with? So
Well, we could,
some of us have to be available for that too.
well, some of it is supposed to, we have to 2027 to get some of this stuff
That's
implemented.
next week.
It is, pretty much.
Yeah, and the last one took
Yeah,
a
so,
really long time.
Oh, yeah. it is.
yeah,
Yeah, but these are modifications to things that we've already got in the ordinance.
Oh,
So,
Right, but the big question is, do they apply?
yeah.
right. Well, I believe this that 2003 LD applied to us, that these changes to the ADUs and probably the subdivision laws are going to.
Good possibility, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to, it's gonna be one of them things you're gonna have to go through. Are we more restrictive than the state law
right.
or not?
Yeah,
We can be more restrictive, we just can't be more lenient.
right, right.
unless we're exempt.
Yeah, unless we're exempt.
Right.
Yes, and, so let's find out if we are.
Yeah, that's-
Because otherwise, if we're not,
I
then we
see,
need to, we need, to,
with all the changes that have been coming through lately, and I see in the not too far distant future that we are not going to be exempt from most of that stuff.
darn. Well, I mean, some of us need to work on one and some of us need to work on the other, I mean, I don't think any of us wanna do both. I mean, maybe you do, you seem to know a lot about both. Do you have that much energy?
As long as I don't hurt myself again.
Right.
I wouldn't mind, being on a subcommittee, for docs, if I didn't know that we also had this other thing that we also have to start talking about potentially.
Mhm.
To just, kind of free up some of us for the
Oh,
other
sure.
thing we may have to address.
Yeah, and actually, they don't have the guidance out for the items that have just been approved April 16th, 2026. So
So
we're
it's
waiting
kind of,
for that guidance.
yeah. So there's, I mean, just for my own edification, the process of a subcommittee that would address these additional points that you're making. And you're now saying that there are additional things that they haven't even published yet. So
Well, they published it, they just don't have the guidance.
they don't have the guidance yet. So we really, I mean, without having the guidance, obviously, it's kind of a moot point. I mean, you need to have the guidance before you can have a discussion, before you can even take it to our attorneys. Because to me,
Yeah, well, we do have guidance for the ones that are approved in 2025.
so is the process, again, to go back from just for my own education, is the process to take those and do they go, you go to the select board and say, we have these 5 things that need to be addressed. We need to get them in front of our attorney, the town attorney, to make sure that, to see if we are in fact required or if we are exempt.
That's
Is it
what
as sim-
happened when we got
is it-
mandated to do.
See, this one,
Is it as simple as that?
this guidance isn't, you don't have to deal with it until 2027.
Okay, but that's what happened when we were LUDLD, whatever.
2003, yeah.
There was a mandate coming from the state that we did all this. So we had to go through and do things, so we had to,
And we had a timeline, you had to
Yeah.
have it done by.
which we were behind the 8 ball to begin with. Cause, you know, we don't get the news, whatever, we don't,
We don't.
we're the stepchild.
I just don't
don't think
understand
anybody did.
I
how,
don't think so either.
I'm concerned about, I know housing is important, right? We all know that that's an issue, right?
Sure.
But, you know, are we talking about housing who are here and who we need? Or are we looking to have a bigger population? And we have people running out of water, you know, this last year. I mean, resources have to be considered.
Who ran out of water last year? I didn't hear any of that.
Well, I fear that my well got low.
Yeah,
So, yeah, my washer wasn't working right and I couldn't figure out why. And finally, I looked at the filter and it was full of dirt. So that tells me I got really low last summer.
Yeah, it was dry.
In Europe?
I was thinking for something maybe the board should consider is, requiring a permit for a new well.
That came up in the minutes last, because
Yeah.
that was asked by Bob Koshaw
Yeah.
last time.
And we
I
actually,
actually-
we tried that.
I actually put an asterisk by it and put a note that.
Oh, you mean that ordinance, proposed ordinance we did? No.
Yeah,
That.
yeah.
I think I have a copy of
There's
it.
no,
Yeah. Cause it was bundled in with the swimming pool thing.
yeah.
It probably should have been,
That was, the, geothermal.
geothermal.
yeah, the geothermal.
Yeah.
And I dropped the ball on that.
But, no, the geothermal went through.
No.
No, it
never
didn't. It was
came.
all under water quality and the
Okay.
whole thing got mixed.
But
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
do agree that there's probably something that needs to be
they,
done again.
it should, the well permit thing should have been a separate.
Yeah.
And I've been watching, you know, the stats every month on where we are in drought in the state of Maine. And there are still houses in the state of Maine that, you know, have dry wells. It is a pretty significant drought still, even with all the rain we've had.
Well, I am surprised that there's no ordinance that requires a permit for a well, because you could drill, I mean, I have a 2-acre lot, I could drill 10 wells if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Not smart financially, but you could, and it could affect your neighbors. sure.
That happened with the geothermal. There's one that we know of geothermal system, but.
But that's not pulling water out
It's
of
not pulling
so
water.
that's a different story.
Well, we were trying to make sure that
They were all,
open
any,
loop systems
yeah.
were prohibited. And those weren't.
they all had, to
Go
be
for
if
it.
you're gonna do a geothermal, it has to be a closed loop system.
Right,
That's what we
Trying
want.
to get
Yeah.
that.
But-
I mean,
The whole thing also included swimming pools, filling swimming pools up. You know,
yeah, I got That's smart too, I mean, pulling that kind
Right, but it's,
Down.
of, so
how
they,
you
so they
police
still can
it.
fill it really well.
Yeah, it's gonna be unfortunately difficult.
But it's
Yeah,
also,
certainly
it may or may not be a danger. It may not be as big a danger as people say, or it may be a bigger danger than people say, I don't know. But it goes back to my question, who makes that decision and what does that do to your property value up island or down island that you were gonna put a well on or put a house on? And then all of a sudden you can't, your property level just dropped significantly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if we now have to, make our, minimum lot sizes smaller, we're gonna see more houses being
wells.
built and more wells. And that concerns me, that we grow too
And
much.
I may be.
On a limited
incorrect on the
resource.
extent of it, so it's something we need to look into.
Do we have
But
a,
the well drillers themselves, they have to report to the state.
right,
Whenever they drill a well, they have to send in how deep it is, gallon per minute, all that stuff. So the state has a registry of all these wells. We just don't have it.
And we probably
We
should.
probably should, yes.
And it would be nice to get some, input. There's a groundwater protection committee.
Mhm.
well, I know there was a pretty significant study done on ground, on the aquifer on the island. Did it?
90s,
Yeah,
they never
it
meet.
Needs to be updated.
They never meet.
They probably have more accurate information out there, methods to.
They haven't
check it.
had a study though since then. I don't know.
Correct, yeah.
They have a new chair on that committee now, so
Oh.
maybe things will,
Do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Pam Larson.
Oh, and Maddie Bruno or something.
Yeah, Maddie Bruno is just joined it, so
Yeah.
she's back.
Oh, good.
Back on the island?
They bought.
But they bought Johnny Hossack's house in,
Oh.
right beside me, you know.
So she's. the
And they have a
chair-
three-legged
she's
dog
the
too.
chair of the-
All right, let's go back, let's go back to docs and the committee, because that's what we were here for.
Yeah.
If we've determined that there's gonna be 4 people or 3 if you don't want to. Do we have to decide right now when we're gonna meet, where we're gonna meet, what time and all that stuff? Don't have to do that right
Nope.
now? We did say we wanted to take a
You-
vote
you-
that we're
you-
gonna set up a
You
subcommittee.
form the committee, then the committee decides when they're gonna have their meetings and all that
So
stuff.
do we want, does the board want to say it does want a moratorium or waits until we?
I think you have to
hear-
do the subcommittee and check it out first before we
Okay.
decide whether to do the moratorium, do we not?
Does the,
That would be my recommendation. But
Because we
subcommittee-
have to have a good reason to go for the moratorium, not just because we don't like the idea.
cause we have to scratch our head.
Right. We have to scratch our heads more.
you want to review the ordinances and make sure they're suitable for Owlsboro's needs.
Does forming the subcommittee need to go before the select board?
So I propose that, we form a subcommittee on these, just to look at dock situation and verbiage in the ordinances for the docks. Is that what I wanna propose? I think that's what I wanna propose.
I can't second it because I'm not voting tonight.
That's right.
I'll second.
You second it. Any discussion on the matter? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. So we're voted on that. The committee will be myself, Scott DeGrasse,
And
and virtually, and Jennifer West. Do you wanna be in on it too, or
I'll consider me a consultant.
a consultant?
Yeah. If you have questions,
Yeah,
I will be more than happy to answer.
yeah.
help where-
Consultant sounds
and
fine.
help where I can.
Yeah. And that's gonna be to determine whether a moratorium is necessary to even propose. And from there, we go into legalities and junk like that.
Yeah. you know, obviously nothing's gonna happen at this town meeting about it, so.
No, obviously not. I mean, this is, I'm not even gonna, no.
You got,
You don't
got a
need that.
year.
Well, yeah, or your special town.
Yeah, you can do a special one.
Yeah.
Comes down to it, but.
Because they said these things, and I looked up more, are emergencies, moratoriums are more like an emergency situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we're at an
I don't
emergency
think we're there.
situation.
I don't think we're in an emergency situation.
We might be in a preemptive situation.
Let me know if you get, let us know if you get another one of those loophole requests.
Yeah, again, I'm not
I don't think they go around
I'm not,
telling each other,
entirely-
talking about it.
upset about loopholes.
No, but ones that live nearby each other see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that's where this one comes from.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
So, that being said, are we ready for an adjournment?
Well,
Or do we wanna-
I'll make copies or email, or maybe I make copies or send it to you and you send it out. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to send it to everybody
Just put it in
else,
the folder.
so,
Oh,
yeah, I
You
can
send- You
have,
can send to everybody and just include me.
well, whatever, if you want hard copies, I can, whatever. I'll find out from the woman, but I'm
I
pretty
think you got
sure
everybody's email
they
address.
deal with ADUs, we had to deal with it before.
I don't wanna see it unless we're required to see it.
And find out if we're exempt.
Mhm. I don't think they are.
That's fine, but I don't wanna see it. If we're not required to do it, I don't care. It's, I really don't.
There was nothing in here about Islesboro, you don't have to do this. I looked.
They should say
I
that.
looked.
The state should say that.
Yeah, they had to revise the hunting manual last year.
Because of
Did they?
us, because of us.
Yeah, they had to put an addendum in there. No
No
rifles on Owlsboro.
No rifles.
No,
No
I
rifles
thought
or
that was
crossbows.
always there. They-
Well, no crossbow.
No crossbows, no
crossbows.
crossbows. They put a state sign up too, a nice big orange one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right at the end of Ferry Road, no crossbows.
so can we put to bed the question of docks right now? For this meeting?
Yeah, you got your committee, so, yeah.
I got milking time coming up real soon, so I mean, I'm ready to go. But if you guys wanna stick around, and hash things out, we can stick around and hash things out.
I need to adjourn. A second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, thank you for coming. Thank you for your inputs. Now I'm gonna go get ready to milk.